7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, everyone. This is Buck Wild. We call it Buck Wild because you never know what you're going to get. Anyhow, I'm Teresa, and then we've got Slick here, and we'll be hosting the show.
How's it going, guys? Here we go.
Yeah, we don't have anybody on it yet.
Take a minute. I haven't had a chance to share because I do everything off the mobile phone. I don't actually have a desktop or anything. So
Yeah. Well, we'll just continue to go for a little while, and I'll keep an eye. You can see up there where it says live, and
yeah,
then the
I got
eyeball.
it. I can see guests. I can see Cam. I got more banners banned. There's a lot more here than normally being a guest.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I go up to see the comments in case I don't see them there. I can see them there, but cool. I'm not seeing anything at the moment. But anyhow, we got a little bit of stuff to talk about, and for people that want to look at this afterwards, you know. Yeah. So, what do you have?
Well, we've all talked about. I think everyone's talked about how Gronk has retired, and like the agents come out and said that there's a possibility of him coming back. I think this has probably been done to death. I just want to get your thoughts on him coming back, and do you think it's worth it? Do you think it's worth leaving a spot open for him, maybe, or do you just move on?
You know, I don't know. I don't know that you want to just move on because he's such a viable asset to the team and to Brady himself.
Absolutely.
But you can't hang your hat forever on the what if he comes back, you know? So they got to find somebody.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same ballpark. I think you got to be realistic. He could come back, but you got to remember, if you remember when Gronk came back from retirement last time, he did that whole thing where he was wearing different shirts and he was kind of he wasn't fit. That's why if you remember, if you cast your mind back, he said that infamous phrase, and it's my favorite phrase of all time. I don't know why it still clicks with me today. He's I'm a blocking tight end. I came here to block. Block your socks off or something like that. In a press interview, and I loved it. And it's because he was unfit. It's because he wasn't there yet. I mean, blocking takes it out of you in a way, but when you're that good of a blocker, it's more technique than it is pure fitness. So he was able to block it like a machine still, because he's so technically sound. But his skill set as a receiver, being able to get gasp on running these in and out breaking or deep routes that he runs, just kind of wasn't there, and it took him a while to get there. And it wasn't until like mid-season that we started to see the old school Gronk come back. So I'm apprehensive about what kind of Gronk we'd get. Now, don't get me wrong, the Bucs will do their due diligence. Tom Brady will do his due diligence about what we're going to get.
Or who we're going to get.
Exactly. But looking at free agents, you know, you've got your Eric Ebron, you got Jared Cook, if you like yourself a guy who can catch the ball, Kyle Rudolph, who I'm a bit of a fan of, and you got Jimmy G or Jimmy Graham, sorry. All guys who, let's face it, are really kind of past it to a degree. I like Kyle Rudolph because he's a 4-time captain for the Minnesota Vikings. He's a Man of the Year candidate 2 times, so he's a locker room dude. I don't think the tight end room has that. Like, I like Cameron Brate, but do I like him enough to lead that room? No.
I'm looking for that blocking tight end now. You know,
you're looking for the blocking tight end, but not only that, you're looking for a leader to push that room and push them further. Who's going to push? Yeah. Who's going to push that room? And it ain't Cameron Brate. And I'm a huge fan of Cameron. I love his story. The Harvard undrafted story is a great story, and I love that guy. Absolutely adore him, but I just don't think he could prove me wrong, and I want him to prove me wrong. I want him to go, you know what, Steve? Slick, you're wrong. I'm the leader. Watch this. Prove me wrong. It's better to be proved wrong, because then I can sit there and go, hey, he proved wrong and it benefited my team. It's even better.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly. So for me, Kyle Rudolph, my pick, but I think it will probably come down to what Tom Brady wants. I think
Always.
Yeah, for sure. They will sit with Tom and say, Tom, what do you want? And I thinking what I like about what I learned about Tom since he's been with Tampa, he wants Jared Cook. He wants the yards, because if you look at Jared Cook's numbers last year, they're not that bad. From a pass catching point of view, I think it probably makes Donovan Smith's job a lot harder, because Gronk took care of him a lot.
Right.
A lot of the times that he was there to max protect and help out, especially if there's a deep developing route for the wide receivers.
Right.
He's not going to have that security blanket anymore. He's going to get a little bit more exposed. And the guard that's next to him, I don't know if he's got Shaq Mason yet, or whoever they're going to put next to him, might not be as good as the guy he had before him, in the sense of Ali Marpet. So there's big pressure on Donovan Smith. And, we're talking about tight end position, and now we're talking about a left tackle position. That just goes to show how big the hole that Gronk leaves. So I think that's why I like a Kyle Rudolph. He can block. He's no Gronk. No one's going to be. Yeah. But the one thing I wanted to touch on about tight ends, a lot of people were really big on our draft picks, our 2 draft picks. K. Dotton and I'm going to see if I can pronounce this, but Kokeft or Kokift. I'm not 100% sure of the pronunciation of the last name, but one was the fourth round pick, and the 4th tight end taken in the draft, and the other one is the 14th, the 6th round pick, and he's the 14th taken tight end. All I want to say to our listeners who are huge fans of these guys, look, I hope they do well, and I hope they have great seasons. Go look at what 4th round pick tight ends do in their first year. They don't do a lot.
Right.
They don't. It's unheard of. We're looking at a ceiling of 300 yards and maybe 3 touchdowns for the 4th round pick. We're probably looking minus 100 yards and less than 2 touchdowns for the other guy.
Right.
So does that replace Gronk? No, it doesn't. Could it replace his blocking? Possibly. It really could. But then that becomes a tell, because if you have a guy who can only block and a guy who can only run with the ball, you know what they're going to do. Oh, they're bringing out the guy who's really good at blocking. Well, he ain't going to run a route.
Exactly.
So it becomes obvious what you're doing. That's what the beauty of Gronk was. You did not know. Those fake blocks that he used to throw where you run up someone and just turn his hips and straight up the field. He made a killing off that. Absolute killing. So I just wanted to reiterate to people who do watch the show and who are big on our guys. I'm big on them. I hope they have great years. I hope one of them becomes the second coming of Gronk. I'm just saying we need a veteran in that room.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Although there is that Tom Brady did tweet out to Anthony Edwards of the NBA. He said, the money's good, but you're in the wrong sport, because he's seen him or something. Hey. And Anthony Edwards came back and said, Gronk's gone, hit me up or something like that.
Hey, why not? If you're Anthony Edwards, why not? But at the same time, you've got to be realistic. It's not going to happen. It's a physical sport. He's going to go from a game where he gets touched a little bit to a game where he's going to get manhandled. Tight ends get manhandled. Tight ends are considered, from a run blocking point of view.
Oh yeah,
you're getting guys coming down on you. You're going to get the likes of people like Shaq Barrett. You're going to get the likes of not JJ Watt, Josh Allen, the Jaguars guy. You're going to get a bunch of edge defenders that play edge linebacker, that are coming down to hit your quarterback or hit your running back and get a piece of him, and you're expected to make a block. It's a little bit different than just being tall and catching balls. And that's why I think Tom Brady would like a Jared Cook, because he likes to go after he wants to stretch the field. But I think I personally want a bit of both. I want versatility in my players.
Oh, I do too. That's why I wasn't real sad to see OJ Howard leave.
He was a great blocker, but didn't really do anything else.
Yeah, exactly. And he kept getting hurt. So if they
They
keep
get
him
her a lot.
hurt,
Yeah.
they're no use to your team whatsoever.
There are a couple of people who are quite sad to see him go. I think it's more because Gronk left, and people saw that, oh, maybe he could take over. But hey, we're not the ones who see him day by day, week by week, practice by practice. There's a reason they let him go. Like, no, I wish him all the best, and I hope that he went to the Bills, I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm hoping the Bills can get something out of him. He deserves it. You can see that his heart's there. I mean, it just didn't pan out for us. I always want to see people succeed. I just don't want them to succeed against us. I hope he has the worst game if he ever has to play against Tampa. I hope he trips over his own shoelaces and breaks his ankle to the point where he's out for a couple of games. I don't want him to die. I just want him not to play well against us.
Well, I think that he's going to get up there in that cold weather. It's going to be even worse on him.
He went from Alabama to Tampa.
Alabama to Tampa, now to Buffalo.
It's going to be a shock to the system.
That's brutal. We can talk some NFC South for a minute. We've got, I saw that the Falcons are saying that Mariota is leaps and bounds ahead of all the other QBs they have in
Who
there.
they got?
Huh?
Who have they got? I generally don't know.
I don't know how well they've got oh, what's his name?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Do you know why it doesn't matter? Because if they were worthwhile knowing, we'd be talking about it.
Right, exactly.
So, do you know who they got? They got Marcus Mariota. That's it.
Yeah, and he's another China doll.
He is. I think he could be serviceable. I don't think he's going to have a great season or anything like that. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think he will. You look at his game in Tennessee. He's a dual threat quarterback that relies on his athleticism rather than anything else.
That's why he keeps getting hurt.
Exactly, because he's not built like Cam Newton.
Yeah.
And Cam Newton isn't Cam Newton anymore because time has betrayed him. Because when you're a physical quarterback, and I like Cam, like his personality, some people don't like. I quite like it, but he's. Have you ever tried Marmite? Have you ever heard of it? Marmite. No. It's a spread that English people put on toast.
Okay.
And its tagline, and this is a really bad marketing point, you either love it or you hate it. And that's when English people describe something that is 50-50, we say it's Marmite. He is a Marmite football player. He's a Marmite quarterback. You love him or you hate him. I love his attitude. I love his swag and everything he brings. I just don't want him to do it against us.
But I mean, he went to where was he last year? The Raiders, backing up David Carr.
Mm-hmm. And he couldn't beat out David Carr. So what means he's going to do anything in Atlanta? Or they guys at my end.
Well, right now they've got, what do they have in Atlanta? They've got
a punter.
Huh?
They got a punter.
Yeah, they've got our punter. Good luck to him with that.
Mm-hmm.
But they've got a quarterback, they've got a tight end, and they have a wide receiver, and that's it. They don't have anybody else that's that wow factor.
I think their biggest players, I would probably go with Cordell Patterson, and Kyle Pitts. And I'd probably leave it there.
And there wasn't a defensive name in that at all.
No. I don't know what they got in defense. No.
And Carolina, they have Sam Darnold as their quarterback.
I mean, Darnold, a lot of people are high on. He's a smart kid, but I just don't know if he's got it. We don't know. I think he hasn't proved it yet. And I think where was he before? Was he a Jet?
He was there last year.
No, but where was the team that drafted him? I can't.
Jets, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, talk about inheriting bad teams.
Yeah.
I mean, but at the same time, Cam Newton beat him out and then lost to him again. So it just shows Cam Newton's on his decline. He's done.
Cam came in, came back, had one good game, and fell apart.
See, I had a theory. When he in the season that we won the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl, that he got off on a really good start, and a lot of people are like, oh my god, like he's outplayed Brady already, and it's like, yeah, but did you watch how he played? And people are like, what do you mean? I went, when you have a quarterback that can run the football, you don't have to open up the playbook. You can just run the football. And that's what he did. If you look at the stats on his first few games, he did not throw for much. It was all him pushing the ball down the field with his legs. And that's easier to do.
Yeah. But I've always said that if your leading rusher is your quarterback, there's a problem.
Absolutely.
And because McCaffrey's out so often.
You can't trust him. He is an absolute great running back. I mean, if you can just put his talent, he's an all-time guy. But unfortunately, best ability is availability, and he can't turn up.
Exactly.
They're trying to trade it. Those rumors that they're trying to trade him, and who's going to take a punt? And that's why I'm suspicious about Saquon Barkley. I feel that he's going to be in the same mold.
Yeah.
I think we've touched on this before in previous episodes back, and we've said that. I know I've said that I don't mind drafting a running back in the first round. I don't like paying big money for them because once they're gone, they're out. It's done. You look at teams with a dominant run game, when their running backs out, they don't have anything else. Tennessee's a really good team, like attitude, culture, everything. Yeah. It's a really good team to be a part of. But once you take out Derrick Henry, you're relying on Ryan Tannehill to win you playoff games, and he's not going to do that. He's okay quarterback.
We saw what happened when they lost Henry.
Exactly. He's an okay quarterback. He's a there's a reason he's still in the league. He obviously can't be bad.
Right.
But the problem, and he's a starter, the problem being is you need more than that to win a championship. You can't win a championship on a good defense and a running back. Those days are gone. You need a quarterback.
You have to have a quarterback. You have to get the ball down the field.
We don't have the greatest run game in the world. We have an okay run game. I mean, if you put it against base stats, we're probably in the bottom third of the echelon of running attack, because we sky the ball so much. And that's because we live in a world where the NFL has made it easier for quarterbacks. The middle of the field's wide open. You can't.
Right.
There used to be a day where you throw a ball and the safety would just bite down on you and you hit you before the ball would get. And now you're considered dirty for doing it.
Right.
And that's old school football. They called it a bang eight.
I miss the old days.
The old John Lynch days. He was good at the old bang eight.
Back when they got hit and they knew they got hit.
But it made you respect the middle of the field, and now you can throw it because they got to catch it first. And you've seen it. We saw it with multiple teams in the playoffs. I think it happened quite badly to Pittsburgh. They did it, and I can't remember if it was I think it was the Bengals got penalized a lot for it. They'd throw the ball deep down the middle, someone would catch it, and they get caught just as the ball was arriving at their fingertips. Me, I'm like, that's fine. Should have hold on to the ball. Hold on to the ball.
If they get it in the numbers, I don't have no sympathy for them.
Exactly. And it's made the game softer in the sense of that middle of the field, that tight end area, which is the position that's opened up over the years now, that we have these tight ends with 1,000-yard seasons. It was unheard of to have a 1,000-yard season at tight end. You had an 800-yard season as a tight end. You were considered a good tight end. Now we're looking at wide receiver numbers for tight ends because all they had to do is go up the seam and catch that seam ball. His job done.
Right.
They could run up the hash mark. That's all they had to do. Catch the ball. No one can touch them. Wait for them to catch it, then tackle them. Well, they've already made 10 to 15 yards already.
Right. Speaking of getting the ball downfield, rumors are bounding that we're looking at Odell Beckham Jr.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't care what anyone says. He's a legitimate talent. Like no one can. Anyone can deny it.
And for some reason, he did not re-sign quickly with the Rams, and I don't know if that was.
You think he would? Because he did play well for the Rams. Like there was that whole thing where he left the Browns, and everyone was like, "Oh, he was toxic. He was this problem. He's a problem. He's a problem. He's a problem." Baker Mayfield had to like force feed him the ball, and he was divering this and divering that, and we're like, "Oh yeah, obviously." And then he goes to a team where he's not number one and plays really well. Kept his mouth shut, got himself a Super Bowl ring, and everyone. But his phone's not ringing, and that's surprising. A man of that talent who looks humble on film, looks humble on film, isn't getting the commanded salary.
Do you think that the phone's not ringing, or he's waiting to see what he can get?
Possibly. I mean, look, at the end of the day, he's a veteran.
Godwin out.
Yeah, we have Godwin out. We don't know when he's going to be back. Russell Gage is still a work in progress from what I'm feeling. I think I do like. I'm a firm believer in Tom Brady checking egos, because obviously he did enough for a while with Antonio Brown for a while.
Right.
I don't think he's Antonio Brown level. I think he wants to be a football player for and foremost, not a rap artist, which is a big start. And I think he can be good for the team. He's generally got a good. I mean, he's Mike Evans level.
Right.
Really. I mean, Mike Evans has got more consistency, but this kid can run a few more routes than Mike Evans. And that's always been Mike Evans' Achilles heel, so to speak, is the fact that his route running is more limited. And I've always stated, I've stated on the show, and I will state again, Mike Evans is the best in the world. So please, any Bucs fans looking to come at me saying I don't think Mike Evans is good enough, Mike Evans is one of my favorite players on offense. Absolutely. My point being is Mike Evans is amazing and is legit one of the best in the league at what he does, but he's not an in or out breaking route runner, and that's fine, and that's why he gets the disrespect he gets, and he shouldn't get it.
Exactly.
People are trying to find the perfect wide receiver, and the perfect wide receiver blocks. He can run inside, outside, and that's why they like who they like at the moment. Exactly. Because they can run all those routes. But Mike Evans is a master at what he does, and there's no one better at it.
Okay, Pam, we finally got our first comment. Pam White said it finally let her on. Hi, guys.
Oh, great. Thank you, Pam. Much appreciated. Please comment more.
We need people to comment, like us.
Subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, relike, everything. Just give us your love, and we'll give you some love back.
Absolutely. Anybody want to come on and talk with us?
Absolutely. If anyone wants a guest up,
I think this is the link, so I'll put it out here.
Oh, that's the link I used to click every time.
Yeah.
Bringing memories. I used to remember watching the show going, where's the link? Where's the link? Where's the link? I want to come on. I want to come on. That's great, guys. All we appreciate is everything you guys say, and if you have a difference of opinion, that's great. Give us your opinion, because that's what we're all about. We want to hear what you've got to say.
Absolutely. It makes it more interesting when we have people with opposing viewpoints.
Yeah, and we can debate. We can have some fun.
Maybe somebody down in Tampa might know something we don't know, in the UK or in Atlanta. So, I'm all for you guys coming on, and you can, if you've got snide remarks, you can put, bring those in. We're good.
If you don't think Odell Beckham's good enough, you tell us. Bring it on. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear everyone's opinion, because no one's opinion is wrong. It's just an opinion, and an opinion's a good thing to have.
Exactly. The just the whole atmosphere. Right now we're at a very, very, very slow period.
Yeah, we're in a quiet period. We've got a few more months till camp. A few more weeks till camp.
I
A few more
thought
weeks till camp.
that camp is it the end of July? So yeah, about 2
Pretty
weeks.
much.
3 weeks.
Yeah, we just started July. So about 3.5 weeks.
Yeah, something like that.
Something. I think the vets go back in late July, like really late July, like as soon as it's pretty much August. But yeah, I'm excited because we get back to football.
Yeah.
I don't watch anything else. I used to love rugby and I can't watch it anymore. It's too soft.
I saw it today.
I was watching. I'm a huge Wales fan, and we're quite lucky. We have a Premier League level. So you got Premier League football. We have a Premier League rugby team in my city, the Worcester Warriors. I watch it now, and I'm like, oh my god! We instead of having flags, we have cards. Like in soccer, you have red cards, yellow cards. All right. So if you get a yellow card, you're out of the game for 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, you're out of the game for 10 minutes. You get a red card, you're out of the game indefinitely. It was a point where we had there was 3 yellow cards at the same, like around about in the same kind of scheme of each other, and yeah, it got a bit it got a bit messy, and it was some of the stuff was just like what we would call really soft. If it was American football, it wouldn't get called. It frustrated me. I was like, oh my god, how am I watching this?
But see, I always respected rugby and Australian football.
Because they don't wear pads.
Myself, well, Australian football, man, you don't know who's got the ball. They're all right there.
Yeah.
Around
Aussie rules is a mixture of rugby and basketball in a weird way, because they're all and soccer as well, because they kick the ball a lot.
They do.
In Aussie rules. It's a very like you want to get one of those guys as a punter for sure, or a kicker, because they gotta have a skill set.
I think they bring in soccer players to be kickers. I don't know.
I'd probably look at if I was in charge of an NFL team, I'd probably look at again an AFL guy for sure. Aussie rule an ARL guy, because they kick the ball while they're running.
Yeah.
So imagine you have that guy planted back there, hands up, and he's like, catches the ball, runs, and if someone breaks it and he knows that he's going to get tackled, he can just hoof that ball downfield still.
Exactly.
So if it doesn't happen, he has the athleticism to just run it and get the first down.
Yeah, and like
you said, win a chicken dinner.
Played without pads,
Yeah, but I'm an ex-rugby player, and I can tell you right now, the American football players, and this is my thing on it, and I try to explain this to everyone who's rugby fans or American football fans. Rugby players are protected by a rule book. You can't tackle above the shoulders. Soon as your hands go about here, it's over. It's a yellow card.
Right.
Your head is remotely in their body, remotely close to their body. It's an automatic yellow card. You tackle somebody when they're in the air and they don't fall down properly, you're getting a yellow card.
Yeah.
They're so strict on how you make contact that you literally need to go for a checklist before you tackle somebody. And I've been in that world where I played American football. I went and played veterans rugby, and I was smashing people apart because of my American football style. But I still knew how to tackle rugby style, because you have to wrap. So if you pop a shoulder and you just hit the shoulder and they go down, you'll get a yellow card because you didn't wrap your arms around their body. So there's so many rules. Rugby American football players are protected by pads. So there's a very different set. So you're limited to what you can do as a rugby player. I wouldn't say it's completely open to what you can do as an American football player, because we know there are rules, especially with certain players, such as quarterbacks. But that's just how it is. But I respect both so much.
I do too. I mean,
but yeah, I watched a little bit of rugby today, and it was nice to a bit of international rugby.
See, I don't get rugby here. And occasionally, I'll get, Australian rules.
Yeah, probably NRL as well, National Rugby League.
Yeah,
That's
and
not
I
popular.
Canadian football. I can see Canadian football, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm not that wild on the Canadian football.
I always assumed that when I first started watching football, I watched Canadian football because it was a football that was available to me in the
Right.
off season. So I was like, okay, I'll watch a bit of this before the NFL season starts up. And I was like, wow, these guys got to be really good if they only need like 3 downs. You got to be talented, right? But none of them pan out when they come to the NFL. And I'm like, well, how's that possible? This guy's gone, like, they don't use the running backs nowhere near as much because they can't churn the ball because they don't have that extra down. So they have to throw it a lot more. And you think to yourself, well, they must be great throwers of the football because they got to get 10 yards in 3 downs, or realistically 2 downs before punting it.
Right.
Than NFL players who got 3 downs before punting it. So logic dictates that they must be more talented, and it's not that way at all. It's not that way at all.
No, not at all.
It's a bit of fun though. It's something to watch. Do you watch any of these players
are out there working out? Because this is a quiet period for the players. The office is in there, absolutely working their tails off. Jason Light is no doubt in there planning his next moves.
I'm just very thankful that we have a good front office. I've got complete faith. I remember, like, only if you took us back to 2019, beginning of 2019, there were calls for his head.
Oh yeah.
There was a lot of stuff going down. For us to be in the position that we're in, and I've linked us. I had a little look a year or so ago when I just looked at drafts. I just looked at how other people drafted. Seattle were like the gold standard of how you're supposed to draft. Since they drafted that Legion of Boom in 2013, 2012 to 2014, they haven't drafted nobody. Realistically, there's the odd player here and an odd player there. I think we just expect our team to hit on every single draft pick, and that's why this is why I double down on the whole tight end thing. Is expect someone like Kokeft, who is the 14th taken tight end, to be on the practice squad, because that's what happens to 6th-round picks.
Yeah,
they go on practice squads. Majority of 4th-round picks go on to practice squads unless they play really well in special teams. And this is why I hope they prove me wrong. I hope these guys are going to just shine.
Next Tom Brady's,
Exactly.
Pick them low and don't expect a lot out of them until they get in there and really shine.
But I think college can really put a gloss on things sometimes, because we look at college players and go, well, they did this and they did that and they did this and they did that. And it's not the same when they come here, because the ante's change. You go from being on the best team in the world to being on an average team or being on a subpar team, even if you're surrounded by genuine talent. Like, even the Jacksonville Jaguars are probably pound for pound more talented than Alabama, realistically. And that's just the way it is. So it becomes like you need to have something else in your toolbox to be special. And that's why being a 1st-round pick is a big deal. That's why being a second, like I always say, your first 2 to 3 picks, depending on where you pick, of course. If you're a Super Bowl winner, your 3rd-round pick probably doesn't count. They have to be hitters. They have to be starters in the league, and then you're drafting for depth. I always say, day 1, day 2, you're drafting starters or the ability to start. Your day 3 guys are rotational or depth players or practice squad players that have potential to be more.
True.
And then when I look at our tight end room, we have an undrafted free agent that has been legitimately good for us in Cameron Brate, and we have 2 draft picks who are completely unproven. I would not want to leave that room as it is. I want to put a veteran in that room.
Somebody in there, yeah.
Just someone to rule the roost.
What do we have available in the cap?
I believe, with Gronk not coming back, I would imagine they kept at least $8 million aside for Gronk. At minimum. I think you could probably get any of these guys, Eric Ebron, Kyle Rudolph, Jared Cook, and Jimmy Graham. If I'm me, with my mindset, I'm bringing all 4 to camp. Best person wins.
Isn't Jimmy Graham though like old?
They're all old. They're all in their mid-30s, except for I think Cook might be early 30s and Eric Ebron is like 31. So yeah, you got 2 guys like I think they're all sub 35. But if he can bring something, if you got a guy who can bring something in the run game, in the pass blocking game, or the run blocking game, and he can still run, I mean, at the end of the day, Tom Brady's going to get the most out of him because nobody wants to disappoint Tom. Nobody, especially the names that we've just mentioned. I don't think any one of those guys, they know this is like last chance saloon, because they know this is the last chance. Realistically, Tom Brady's going to play for 1 or 2 years. It's either this year or next year he's going to retire.
Right.
That's a fact. That he's not going to play another 2 years after this. I would be very surprised. I'm not saying it won't happen. I just don't see it happening. With the offer that he's got,
I don't see it happening.
No, I don't. If I'm brutally honest, I think he'll go to Miami next year, and I think he'll play 1 year for them and get a bit of ownership, because that ownership's worth money.
But can he have the ownership and be the announcer for Fox?
No, that he can defer it to the year after. They basically said when you're ready. So he could play 5 years. The offer still stands.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Well, but what I was saying is, I've never heard of another owner that actively anchored any sports program.
No, but he'd be a minority owner, a bit like Warwick Dunn owns a piece of the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
So he'd have 2% or 5% or whatever they offer him. But I think if you're a businessman, and Tom Brady seems very business orientated, you play 1 year for the Miami Dolphins, doesn't matter what they do, you're going to get 5% of their business for the rest of ever. That's a lot, and Miami is the business, a good business capital. Right, sorry, let me rephrase. It's a fashion capital of the world. Miami and New York. It's a big hub of business. So I could really see them putting down roots there, the Brady brand or the family or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I hear there was rumors it was Giselle who really wanted Miami because of Miami Fashion Week and the business that can be done there, because Tampa is not that way inclined, but to be fair, Tampa's not that far away, so it was kind of worked out for everyone. You got to be on a studded team, and she got to be a headstone throw away from a big capital of the world,
right? So to speak. She's put everything on hold for him, and I know that. Probably Miami is the closest place to Brazil she can get. As far as, mimicking the lifestyle and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think so. Because it's got a lot of Cuba root. It's got a lot of what's the word? South American heritage.
Absolutely. So she deserves to do what she wants to do. If she wants to fashion design, if she wants to model. I mean, let's face it, she could still model in a second.
For sure. It's not just that, though. I think you want to go life beyond that. So she's probably looking at putting work together herself, that like her own business and stuff like that, like her own brand and what have you. Like Brady started to build his Brady brand, and they are kind of seen as like that power couple. Like in England, we had Posh Spice and Beckham.
Right.
It's to be honest, like it's very similar to that from a English person's eyes. You've got the talented athlete with she wasn't really a model, but she had an eye for fashion. She was a pop star who became a fashion, who got involved in fashion, and now she's worth way more than the husband.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same with Tom Brady and Giselle.
Yeah, she's worth way more than him.
Yeah, at least double. At least double. And fair play. It's got to be done,
Yeah.
Girl's going to run the world one day. For sure. It's going to happen.
Pam said the countdown is on. Yeah, we are counting down. I tell you what.
I am. I can't wait for the camp stories.
You can't wait for what?
Camp stories. So when they start doing the reporting on what's happening in camp and the competition.
And who's going to be let go and who's going to be retained, and
you ever been to practice?
I'm sorry.
Have you ever been to practice?
No.
You used to live in Tampa, or?
I lived in Tampa back when they first got into the league, and they didn't have the facilities to have a big practice thing and make it all nice and lovely, because they were right there. If I recall right, it's just a little small strip right next to the airport. The offices were like in a trailer.
Wow. Just going to show how things change, isn't it?
Yeah. Everything changed once we got out of the Culver House
okay.
era.
See, this is the thing I find fascinating, because obviously being a newer Buccaneers fan, like I've only been a Buccaneers fan since 2013.
Right.
So I get a few people judgment call on that, and then as soon as they hear I'm English, they kind of okay, yeah, you're allowed to be a young Buccaneers fan. Well, I remember I went to
76.
Unfortunately, I can't say the same. 2013 is my best.
Gotcha.
But I felt a bit of pain. I became a fan of a team that didn't have a winning season till I don't know. We had one, didn't we? We had a 9-6 season with I think 2015, maybe 2016. I'm not too sure. With we didn't make the playoffs.
We didn't have a winning season with Jameis, though.
We did. Trust.
Did we?
We had one. Okay. It was the season that the hype really took off. I believe it was the season before we did the Hard Knocks.
Oh, okay.
One that really hammered onto it that we're a team to be reckoned with, and we had an opportunity. Because if you're 9-3, if you're 9-6, you're going in with a rookie. Not a rookie quarterback. Sorry, a quarterback with potential. Everyone's like, wow, this team could really take off. And that's when we got the Deshaun Jackson and all that kind of stuff started to take off, and didn't work. Yeah.
I kind of wish that they had been able to convince Jameis to come back as a backup to Brady and see exactly how he played after the eye surgery.
I think there's too much pride involved.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think in the ideal world, I think that would have been the best thing. I think that's what I wanted, because I was like, well, you've got a guy who's got, like, I don't think anyone can legitimately say that Jameis Winston is not talented. He is talented.
Oh, no. He's talented.
But he's gutsy, and he's too gutsy. He needs to just let go. And I think the one thing the Saints kind of did the opposite with him. They kind of neutered him to a point where he was, unless it was against us. That game he played against us, he played very well. But other than that, when you watched him against other teams, he was very neutered, like, to what he could do. It was almost like give the ball away, pass the ball short, like yards. It was very like, we're not letting you involved to do much more than what we think you're able to do, because we don't trust you to do it. And I think he does have the ability to be a good quarterback.
Whatever he did, it was a dink and dunk situation. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
They didn't want him for long.
For sure. I mean, my daughter's a huge Jameis Winston fan, because Jameis Winston sent her a jersey. He watched a video of her cheering for him when he was with the Bucs, his final year, I believe it was.
Oh, really?
4 years at the time, and she's jumping up and down on the sofa saying, "Let's go, Jameis! Let's go, Jameis!" And I just tweeted it out with him attached, saying, she was wearing an old, I didn't know if my kids were going to get into football or not, so I bought them really, when players leave, the jerseys go really down in price. So I bought her a Josh Freeman special for about $5, stitched jersey, and she's bouncing around the living room celebrating, because she was at that age where she was asking questions, because she noticed that the camera was always lingering on one player on the Bucs. Obviously, it was number 3 at that time. And she was like, "Who's number 3, Daddy?" And I'm like, "It's Jameis Winston." And she's like, "Okay." And she's jumping up and down on the sofa. "Let's go, Jameis. Let's go." Absolutely. She went to her school. And I will forever remember this because it's awesome. She went to her school Athletes Appreciation Day dressed as Jameis Winston. And they asked her, and she went, "Who?" They went, "Who are you?" And they all went as soccer players. She went, "I'm Jameis Winston." And she squinted the camera and went, and I went, "Why are you doing that?" And she went, "Because that's what Jameis does." And I was like, "Because you can't fucking see what he's looking at." It just shows what kids pick up. But his manager messaged me afterwards and said Jameis Winston wants to give her a jersey. And he sent, just before Christmas, a pair of socks, a scarf, a hat, and a jersey.
Wow.
To a little kid in Worcester, England.
That's amazing. And, some of the stuff these players do.
It means nothing. It means nothing to them, but it means everything to who they do it to.
It makes a world of difference.
He made a lifelong fan because she still asked about
giving the balls away. After every touchdown.
Cam Newton used to do the same thing. And it means so much to them because you can't take that away from someone. When you meet a celebrity or you meet somebody special who you rate in your life. Like my friend and I still talk about the time we met Warren Sapp. Warren Sapp was at the game in England. This dude just, I tell the story. We're walking in. We're both wearing vintage Bucs jerseys. So I'm wearing a Leroy Sam and he's wearing a. And I will get him on the show eventually. He just can't stay up this long. He just can't handle it. But one day John will be on. And he's wearing a Warren Sapp creamsicle. And we're walking down the road, and this guy stops us and goes, "Can I talk to you?" How? Yeah, we were just walking, so we didn't think anything of it. And he's with this guy. And he's like, "I love your jersey, man," to my friend. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, thanks." And then I catch him, and he's got his hood up.
Yeah.
Basically see this much of his face, because it's raining in England. No surprise. And he's like, "Can I have a picture with you?" And we're like, "Why does this guy want a picture with you?" And then I just caught a glimpse. He's got his hand out, and there's the Super Bowl rings on it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's Warren Sapp. And we both get giddy because we both realized as soon as we see his face and he pulls his hood down to take the picture, another picture. I'll have to send that out and so you guys see that. And he was really nice. I've heard a lot of bad stories about the guy, but he was really nice to us. So it was an awesome. For us, it was really awesome.
I've heard good and bad, but it's like with celebrity and anything, people come and bother you all the time to the point where sometimes you have to tell them, "Go away."
And I think coming to England, where you're probably not getting bothered by regulars, you're going to only get bothered by NFL fans who recognize you. So younger NFL fans might not recognize you because you're a Hall of Famer from yesteryear.
Right.
And then he was like, "Oh, these guys are loving me. I'm down with it," and that was probably what it was. But for us, it lives on to our memories. And we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I think I was late coming onto one of the shows because I had a few friends around, and we were sat talking about that exact moment. And even Warren Sapp tweeted about it. He took a picture. His agent, I don't know who was with him, but someone took a picture with us, and he posted it up saying, "Oh, 99, the best thing to happen in England." Because we lost the game in England, obviously. But it was, and he's got that picture screenshotted, everything, and that's life completed for him. He's pleased as hell. I mean, I just need Ronde Barber, and then I'm happy.
Yeah,
Ronde Barber's my guy.
Oh, love Ronde. Why he's not in the Hall of Fame, I don't know, but
I think we all know why. It's because it's voted on by press. It's not voted on by players. I think if players voted, I think he'd be in.
He's holding records. How do you not vote him in?
He owns the specific club that only 2 people are in, and I believe one of them's the only other one's him and another Hall of Famer. I'm just trying to remember who it is. Packers safety.
I don't know.
White. It's gone past me. Gone past me, unfortunately.
What do you think the Saints are going to do this year?
I think the Saints will always be sound defensively. I think offensively they're going to sputter a bit. I think, brutally honest, and I hate the Saints, but I'm going to be honest. I think they will win 8 games, and I still think they will come second in our division because I don't think there's anything else in our division. I really don't.
I mean, they would make the most logical choice as being second because the Falcons aren't going to do anything, and neither is Carolina.
Carolina needs to figure out what their identity is as a football team because they can't run the football because they don't have a running back that's capable of running the football for a season.
Right.
You can't be just a running football team because once you're a running football team, you've got to have a stable.
Kamara is out for how many games did he get suspended for?
I'm not 100% sure, but it might be 4. I don't know if I'm honest. I don't want to speculate because I hate being wrong. Because someone will comment, Teresa, and they will tell me I'm wrong. So I'm going to guess it's 4, and if someone wants to correct me, you're more than welcome to.
Tonight, I don't think you have that problem.
But Pamela's message again. She says the count is on, so I'm down for the countdown. Just needed to be a bit quicker.
Yeah. Anybody else out there that wants to like or comment? We appreciate the comments. We feed off of those sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes a comment can get us sparked up. We can talk about a few things, and it gets the old grey matter in the head going.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we got to sit there and go to the script, and we don't want to go to script, do we?
No.
We want it to be more organic and.
Yeah, I want it to be. This has always been a show for the fans by the fans.
Exactly.
So you're as important to us as we are. You're telling us where you want to see the conversation go. And
Absolutely.
we're fine with it.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of that.
Me too.
So what do you think about Sue saying the Bucs are out of the picture?
Well, he's being realistic. The Bucs are out of the picture.
Not 100%, but pretty much. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you're right. You don't draft a replacement and sign a free agent to his position, and I think some people saw it as a bit shady. I think that's the phrase these days.
I don't know if it's shady or it's just doing business in the NFL.
I think exactly what you just said. It is doing business in the NFL, and that's what most of it is. Most of it is doing business in the NFL. For me, I've always been a big hater of people coming after guys who chase money because I'm like, if I was in their shoes, I'd probably do the same. I mean, I'd like to think that I'd be Tampa through and through. But if someone's offering me $2 or $3 million or more a year, I would be hard pushed because it's such a small window to earn money in this world. And let's face it, how much loyalty do NFL teams actually have?
Right. I've heard rumor that Sue's looking at the Saints. I don't like that.
No.
But I think truly he wants to stay on the West Coast, preferably Seattle, where he lives. So
he's from that way, isn't he?
He's babies, When he's over in Tampa, half the year, he's missing his babies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got twins, isn't he? Yeah, I couldn't see him being a West Coast guy. I mean, the Rams kind of suited him a little bit too. So,
well, the Seahawks are looking for help. I mean, let's face it, they're looking for help everywhere.
Yeah,
they need a quarterback. They need a good running back. They need a couple of good wide receivers. They
just got one wide receiver. Have they still got the other guy? I can't remember his name. If I can't remember his name, he's not relevant remembering. That's
exactly.
a 3.
Exactly.
He's a guy I always remember though, like as in I've had him on a fantasy team as like a wide receiver number 3, so that doesn't say a lot.
Yeah.
But they've got 2 wide receivers got talent. The rest is nothing. They got no tight ends. They don't really have a running back stable. They don't really have a quarterback stable. So what do you have? The defense and the Legion of Boom.
Well, rumor has it that Baker Mayfield is really looking at them hard. Now,
Baker
if
can look at them
Browns
all
are
he
going to let
wants.
him out of his contract,
Baker can look at them all he wants until the Browns know that Deshaun Watson's starting on day one. They won't trade him.
he's not going to start on day one. He's going to have a suspension.
Exactly. And who's going to start? They're a win now team. They can't afford to go, we'll just burn a year. They can't do it.
No.
So Baker Mayfield's playing for the Browns.
I'd love for them to have a fire sale and we can pick up Chubb.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, he's a good, but I think we'd pick up Chubb for a big price tag, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm cool with that yet. I don't know. I think I might go more. Who's the other guy they got? Because they got two-headed beasts that were both at starting level.
Can't remember that guy's name.
Yeah, he used to be with the name escapes me. He used to be with Cincinnati, and they got rid of him because he did some questionable things. I can't remember his name then.
Why is it Cincinnati has some people that do questionable things? You wouldn't think Cincinnati would do that.
No, but I think it's more. It's not about what where you draft. It's who you draft, isn't it? Like the attitude.
Well, they started, from what I understand, they started doing classes on finances and everything.
Which I'm a firm believer. My wife came up with something that's really clever, and she said, "I don't understand how people become celebrity superstars in 5 minutes and then don't know how to do anything in real life because." And she's not talking like cooking, cleaning, or anything like that, but knowing how to deal with their business, like as in how they interpret themselves online, how they run themselves as a business, so to speak. And she's like, why aren't their agents taking care of them, teaching them? Like, their agents make money while they make money, so why don't their agents go, right, you're an intimate commodity, you're a YouTube sensation, this is what you need to do to continue success. So you need to not type this crap, you need to not do this, you need to not do that, and you need to do this more.
And they're
tick, 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 tick.
They need to get rid of the hanger-oners, the ones that are just there because they got the money and they're going to provide everything.
Yeah, I think it's tougher from people who've come from a poorer place because they see themselves in their shoes. Yeah. I was lucky enough to get out of it. I want to help as many people get out of it as well. But what they don't realize is some of those people just, like you said, just hang on. And
they're just there to get whatever they can get.
Absolutely.
And then when he runs out of money or he puts an end to it, they disappear.
That's it. Unfortunately, that's the way of the world at the moment.
I know, unfortunately.
Well, if you look at billionaires, not many of them are very nice people. So
probably not.
This is the thing, though. People, I sat in a meeting with at work, and a lot of people were talking about like how this person's done that and this person's done that. I'll insert names later. And I was like, yeah, but that person was horrible. And they're like, what do you mean? So we're talking Steve Jobs. And I'm like, Steve Jobs only had a realization that he needed to be nice to people when he was dying. We all do that. Even poor people realize they got to be nice to people when they're dying. He was just a multi-billionaire. There's a big difference. Elon Musk has had his own daughter renounce being her father. That shows how much of a nice person he is. He's got billions.
He's got billions. He's cuckoo.
Yeah, he's out there. There's a fair few of them who are questionable human beings.
Yeah.
And you can honestly say that some of the most self-made people who've come up from nothing are probably athletes because they've used their own talents. They haven't piggybacked off other people. And they've made a name for themselves. And that's why I'm always for self-expression in the arts or whatever. Like, if they want to make a political statement, I don't have a problem with it. My wife has got a fantastic statement And I used to really scowl at her for saying that. We were talking about something, and she just say, "Look at it this way, Steve. Does it affect you?" And I went, "No." "Does it hurt you in any single way?" And I went, "Not really." And she'd be like, "If your answer is not really or it doesn't, why are you bothered?"
Yeah.
And I went, "Damn, you're right." So now I'm like, a bank in England now has, the pronouns of his, hers, they, and everything. Yeah.
Right.
So our bank, the bank that my family's with, Halifax, I believe they're called. They have their name badges. So name's Sue, and she likes to be known as she, her, hers.
Mm-hmm.
And you might meet Bobby, but Bobby likes they, theirs, and theirs. And people got very angry about it. And for the first time, I wasn't that bothered. I was like, does it affect me? No. Does it upset?
Exactly.
Does it do anything to my life? No. In fact, they made it easier. They got a name tag, so can't argue. They got a name tag now. I just look at, oh, you like that? Okay, cool. Because my biggest problem was, what if I slip up and say the wrong thing and they get angry at me?
Right.
And I didn't mean to be. I would just see what I see. I use my own two eyes. And my wife's like, yeah, you're right. And that would be nasty of them, and they should explain to you. And I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough. I'm cool with that. And then name tags, now's the problem, doesn't it? It's like, okay, oh, you like that? Okay, cool. If you want to call Count Dracula, I'll call you Count Dracula. It's fine.
We should all have to wear name tags,
Yeah, I think we're getting into that world, unfortunately. I mean, if anyone wants to know, I am he, his, and his.
I'm just Teresa.
I like that. I love that, Teresa. I really do. But I'm just glad you're healthy again.
For the moment, I am.
I hope you keep it up.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm constant contact with the doctors. You can see my face is puffy though, so.
You always look good to me, though.
Oh, thank you. You're my favorite.
Right, well, you can turn around to your husband and put that in there, like, look good. He's only 36. He'll be like, yeah, he'll be 36 and dead if he keeps saying shit like that.
All right, it's been an hour. Slow news week.
Yeah, it's been a dead week, to be honest. It's all rumor. It's all opinion.
Yeah, exactly. And that's probably what we're going to get for the next 2 weeks.
Pamela, you should come on the show. As long as you're not slandering me, I'm good. Come on the show. We want to have more women. Let's show that Bucs fans are women too.
That's my sister.
Oh, is that your sister?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be on my P's and Q's now. I did not swear. I'm an angel.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, with her house, no. Her house is as bad as my house on the swearing part.
That's cool. You both in Georgia?
No, she's in Iowa.
Iowa, wow. So your family spread about a bit?
Yeah, they moved up to Iowa. I can't remember how many years ago.
So you went to Georgia. It's got nice sunshine.
I'm in Georgia.
You went to Iowa for why?
Corn.
Corn. You went to corn. You went for corn. You know you can get that in a supermarket.
Yeah, well, you can get it. You can the plane's landing next to the cornfield.
I'm messing.
Iowa.
I'm just playing.
But they moved up there because Florida, you couldn't get a job at that point.
No, okay.
They had jobs in Iowa, and except for the winter, they're really enjoying it.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, I work in a cake factory by actual profession.
Yeah.
I'm a QA technologist, so I'm the one that makes sure that the food that the people eat in England is safe to eat.
Cool.
Check that you guys don't, well, not you guys, but no allergens, that there's no chemicals, that kind of stuff. We're really in charge of that stuff. So I usually end up dealing with people who've monumentally messed up more than the time. It's like,
especially with allergens, because if you mess that up, I mean, you could that could be life or death. You never know.
Absolutely. I always try and tell people that because my wife's a sufferer of a strawberry allergy, so we don't have strawberries in my house
Right.
at all. It is what it is. I don't miss it though. I don't miss it. I'm a cherry fan. I like cherries. So
See, I am a strawberry girl.
you like strawberries? There's strawberry wine.
Nah, I used to back in high school. I drank that Boone's Farm Strawberry Hill.
Okay.
You used to drink some bad stuff.
I tell you what. I tell you one thing that you guys don't get a massive amount of, if I remember correctly, is cider.
No, we don't do a lot of cider.
I tell you what. When you drink that, it changes your mind. It's like drinking beer that's refreshing.
Yeah.
Because it's made of alcoholic apples, so it's like apple juice that's extremely, well, I wouldn't say extremely alcoholic. It's about as alcoholic as a beer, but it's so refreshing because I see it as a summer drink, but it's really not a thing in America, is it?
We see cider in the fall, and that's about
it. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
for me. We're a boozy alcoholic family, not in that kind of way, but we like to have a drink in here. Like my wife's always drinking a glass of wine or two, and I'm always with a beer or two. So I mean, it's obviously been caught on camera.
Well, I can't drink now.
No, too much medication.
Well, just I can't for the liver. But I used to drink.
What was your favorite?
2020. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah, we got it here.
Mad Dog.
And Mad Dog 2020. Yeah. I remember drinking that as a kid.
No, there was a reason.
I'd like to point out, for the benefit of this tape, I was not a child when I drank MD 2020. I was 15 years old when I first tried it, and the national drinking age is 18. I was very naughty.
Yeah, I was a child. We used to go to this place called Picnic Island and party before they made it into an actual park.
Ooh.
But whoa. Jeff, cool. We got some people here. Y'all are late. Let's see.
Oh, what were these people before? I think they just woke up.
Said we got lots of hard cider in Michigan. Yeah, that's where all the cider comes from.
That's what you guys call it. You call it hard cider. We just call that the soft cider apple juice.
Yeah.
I love that though. I mean, if Jeff, if we get chatting, I will send you some brews. Not a problem. We live in the middle of apple cruncher land in England, so we're cider.
Yep. Stephen Glasker, which I miss. Stephen, I miss you so much. Says, hey, Teresa, good to see you in jolly old England tonight.
Jolly old England, pleased to see you as well.
Jeff said, hey, I've been here the whole time.
Guys, comment more. Get involved, because we want some vibrance. Teresa and me, we want to bounce, and we can bounce off each other all day because we get each other. But we want new people with fresh perspectives. Your opinion doesn't have to match ours. It doesn't matter.
Nope. Because
your opinion matters, because we just want to hear a Bucs fan's opinion. And you might go, no, Gronk has to return. Or you might go, no, let's just do away with Gronk and focus on the future. There's nothing wrong with that opinion.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with any of the opinions, as long as you can back it up and you're not being a bugger about it. I think that's the best word I can use without swearing. That's a very English word. An ASS or a, what? Yeah, I'll go with that. An ASS about it. I was commenting on Twitter. Guess that was the wrong. Yeah, I think we get all ours, Jeff. We get all ours through Facebook. So please subscribe on the Facebook channel, and on the Facebook channel there's a link, and on the link you can come and join us, and we can have a good chat, Jeff. We can talk hard cider, we can talk book football all day long.
You can comment, or you can come on and join us. Stephen, you need to come on and join us.
It's how I got on the show originally. I just commented, clicked the link, and we just chatted, and here I am now.
So, well, with that, guys, we're going to call it. It's been an hour and 10 minutes. We'll be back next week, 9 o'clock Eastern time. So come join us and come bring your comments and your questions and your Stein remarks. Whatever you got, we'd love to hear it. Take us in the direction that you want to see the show go in, not necessarily the direction that we're going to try to put it in.
We'll keep it middle. We'll keep it middle in the middle of the road, and then you guys can divert that road for us, because that's what we want. We got a path, but that path can go any way you guys want it, and that's why we need you. We need you to make this show a success. So like, comment, subscribe, stop commenting, stop subscribing, and then recommend, and resubscribe, and re-like.
Like. We love the likes. All right, guys. Well, we're going to call it at this. We're out. Appreciate you coming on, and we will see you next week.
See you guys. Much appreciated.